Welcome to Take the Lead Radio with Dr. Diane Hamilton, where she interviews some of the most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, and other individuals who will inspire you to take the lead in your career and personal life. And now, here is Dr. Diane Hamilton.
I am here with Dr. Willie Jolley, who's achieved remarkable heights in the speaking industry. There are many motivational speakers, and then there's the one and only, the incomparable Dr. Willie Jolley. He's been described simultaneously as the world-class award-winning speaker and singer, best-selling author, and media personality. He's gone on to be named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by 175,000 members of Toastmasters. He's been inducted into the prestigious Speaker Hall of Fame, as well as achieving the distinction of Certified Speaking Professional by the National Speakers Association. And in 2012, he was a recipient of the Ron Brown Distinguished Leadership Award. In 2013, he was named one of the top 5 leadership speakers by Speaking.com and Business Leader of the Year by the African American Chamber of Commerce. He's the author of multiple books, and we're going to talk to him about that. And it's so nice to have you here, Dr. Jolley.
Well, good to be with you. Thank you so much. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be on.
I'm going to need you to just talk a little louder because I can hardly hear you. But
I'm so sorry. I'll talk up for you. How's
wow, that's better.
Is that better?
I know we don't have a professional mic in this setting, and I want to make sure everybody can hear you because you have such great. And you said you stood in for Zig Ziglar.
I replaced Zig Ziglar when he passed away on the National Get Motivated tour.
Wow.
So I did that for 2 years. We did about 80 cities and had a great time doing that. And now I've left the tour because I'm starting my own tour, as well as many people know about my new marriage book, which is taking so much of my time and energy that I really am more focused on that than the tour. And I'm on television and radio and interviews literally daily. So I wasn't able to do both of them with the same energy.
Well, I watched one of your interviews, and it's at jollymarriage.com, right, to get the book?
Did you like that interview or what?
It was hysterical. You and your wife cracked me up.
People have been calling us from around the world. We got a call from Kuwait. Somebody called from Kuwait and said, that interview was life-changing for my wife and I. I need that book. And so we're grateful. And we encourage people to go watch the interview. It's funny, it's engaging, and then it gives some real life lessons to help people to help people in their relationships, help them to have greater success. As we tell people, my wife and I have been married for going on 33 years. We haven't had an argument in over 30 years. Now, those first couple of years, we had major arguments, World War III, just back and forth. It was bad. But we learned some principles from the mentors that helped us. We started implementing and embracing and employing those principles, and they worked. And 30 years later, we put them in a book, and now it's helping others to have greater success.
Well, your books haven't been traditionally this direction. What made you decide to go this way?
Yeah, my books, most people know my books. My first book was called It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. Then my book, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. That one was the first national bestseller. This became an international bestseller. Then turned setbacks into greenbacks, bestseller. Then Attitude of Excellence, which is coming out again in a revised form because I wrote that in 2009. And at that point when I wrote that, the book and I were on the same page. I've grown in the years since. And the things I've learned in the last 7, 8 years, 9 years have been life-changing. So we're revising it because I want the new book and I to be on the new same page. But all self-help or professional development, personal development. This book was the result of my son. My son is over 30 years old, and he's an attorney. He would tell his friends, I've never seen my parents argue. And they'd say, I don't believe that. He said, well, it's true. I've never seen them argue. And they'd say, well, how is that possible? How could that be? And so he would bring them over to our home, and they'd sit at our dinner table, and we'd tell them, here's the things we've learned that helped us to stop arguing and get to loving. And after enough of them continued to ask, he came to us and said, look, Mom and Dad, my friends keep saying, we need you to write this book. We want what you've told us in these sessions. We need to be able to take it to our other friends. We need a book. So he pushed us to write the book, and the book has just exploded.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it'd be a really fun thing to read. You two are really funny. Just your background and going back and forth and the way you interact is really cute. I enjoyed that interview immensely.
Great.
And your wife looks like she's a lot of fun.
She's smart as a whip, and she's tough as nails. And she learned how to have a sense of humor by living with me, okay? She was a preacher's kid. She did not have a sense of humor when we got married. And she'll tell everybody that. Her dad was a fire and brimstone preacher. So she didn't have a sense of humor. But we've learned that humor is a oil that keeps friction away.
Yeah.
And so I've had humor, and so sometimes we just use humor to keep the friction from becoming a problem. And it's through that we're able to communicate and talk more effectively. Well,
does she also have your beautiful singing voice?
No, my wife doesn't sing. She would not be able to hold a tune if you put it in her pocket.
I mean, I love your voice, and I cannot believe you were ever fired and replaced by a karaoke machine. How is that possible?
Yeah, that's my story. For those who don't know my story, I was a nightclub singer, a jingle singer, sang jingles for Pizza Hut, making it great. Oldsmobile, 7-Eleven, BET, Channel 4 News. I mean, I sang jingles during the day. And then I made the majority of my income singing at night in nightclubs. Dark, dank, smoke-filled nightclubs. Singing songs I hated, but I kept on singing them because they kept on paying me. One night I went in, and they said, we're going to make a change. We love your band, but we found something cheaper than a band, and we're going to give that a shot. And I got replaced by a karaoke machine.
Wow.
Anybody ever been replaced by something? Anybody ever been rejected? It's painful.
Wow.
It's hurtful. It's, I felt like somebody kicked me in my gut. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to do with my life.
I'll bet.
I took a job while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I took a job with the Washington, D.C. public school system as a drug prevention coordinator. And it was during that year I discovered an ability I didn't know I had to use words to communicate. From the little kids, the teachers would say, can you come to my teachers group? And someone at the teachers group would say, can you come to my church? And someone at the church would say, can you come to my company? And it continued to grow. And then one day, Les Brown, the great motivator, heard me speak and sing. Mm-hmm. And he said, I've been looking for an opening act for a tour called the Music and Motivation Dream Team Tour. And we've been looking for a speaker who also sang. And so, are you interested? I said, yeah, I think so. And so months later, we kicked off the Les Brown Music and Motivation Dream Team Tour, which featured Les Brown, Billy Preston, the great organist, Gladys Knight,
wow,
and myself.
Wow.
And we went around doing these music and motivation events, and it was great. And they introduced me to radio people. I got a little radio show. It got popular, first here in the Washington area, then got syndicated, which led to Sirius XM, where you can hear me now on my Sirius XM show, which is #1 self-help show in America now, channel 141. And it airs 4 times every week, 1 interview 4 times a week. That led to CBS television with my 1-minute motivational messages, and PBS. And then a book publisher offered me an opportunity to write a book, and I wrote the first book. As I said, it became a national bestseller. Then the second book, international, and it just continued to grow. And then in 1999, I was named one of the top 5 speakers in the world by Toastmasters. In 2005, I was inducted in the Speaker Hall of Fame. Last year, I was named a legend of the speaking industry. And it all happened because I got fired and replaced by a karaoke.
Is that guy kicking himself now?
You know, interesting. I'll tell you a great story. Most people don't ask that question. About, let's say I got fired in the late 80s. 1980s, early 1990s. I started working with the school system in 1990, so it must have been 89. About my first book came out in 1995, 95, and it hit. You know, I said it hit the bestseller book list. The guy who fired me called me and said one of my employees came in with this book saying it changed her life. And I looked on the cover. She said, "We've got to get this guy. He lives in D.C. We got to get him and see if we can come speak for us." He looked on the book and there was my picture. He said, "Willie Jolley, he used to sing here. He was our nightclub singer." She said, "He's great. His books are great." So he calls me and he says, "Hey, this is so-and-so. Hi, you remember me?" "Oh, yeah, I remember you." And he said, "Well, look, I see you got a book. And I see you getting these motivational speeches. And I'll never forget the conversation. He said, "Well, look, I'd like to see about you coming to speak for our sales team." I said, "Okay, I'm open." He said, "Now," and at that point, remember that when I was in the nightclub, he was paying me $500 a night. $500. Yeah. That I split with the band.
That's a little different.
Yeah. But I split it with the band. So he says, we'd like to cut you. So we can pay you about $500 to come give a speech. I said, oh no.
That ship sailed.
Oh, that ship has sailed. And I told him my new fee. He said, "What? That kind of money? You go out and buy a Mercedes." I said, "I already bought one." You talk about, let me tell you something. This is a point for everybody. How many people who are watching have been fired or rejected or put down or taken advantage of or been disappointed by somebody who didn't do what they said they were going to? How many have had that experience? Okay. Yeah. All right. Rather than trying to get revenge, here's the secret I learned. Massive success is the best revenge.
It is.
It's true. So that was one of those moments in my life where I said, yes, because I was able to control my destiny. Here's what I learned from being fired. One, you've got to make decisions in life. It's not what happens to you that matters, really. It's what you do about it.
Right.
And when you have a challenge in your life, it's not just the problem you have, it's the decision you must make in that moment. And so I made a decision that I was going to change my life. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't know all the details, but I knew that I had to determine my destiny, or I would have somebody else determine my destiny. I was going to have to live my dreams, or I would always be living someone else's dreams. And so I'm saying to you who are watching and listening that, one, you're going to have setbacks, but a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. You got to have that attitude, that expectation that good things are going to come from this. Be positive. Stay upbeat. Don't let the situation or the circumstances beat you down. You've got to rise up above them. You've got to have a mindset that says, I'm going to win somehow, some way, and y'all better get on board with me because I'm going somewhere. You know, and that really does create an enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is taken from the Greek word entheos, which means the God within. That God force within you, that power force within you must be enthusiasm. It comes out of you. Let it shine. Let it flow. Go up to people. How you doing today? Don't just say I'm doing okay, or I'm doing fine, or I'm just making it. Say amazing, outstanding, incredible. I was at the gym early this morning, and a guy, I was working out, and I'd gone in the sauna for a few minutes. The guy said, I said, how you doing today? He said, I'm doing good. He said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing awesome. He said, what? I said, awesome. He said, that's the first person I've ever heard say awesome. I said, well, welcome to hearing awesome. Because I woke up this morning without a chalk outline around my body. I woke up in America. Now, America got isms. It got sexism and ageism and racism and all sorts of isms. But let me still say, it's still a great place to be. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in the pack to make millions of dollars in America. I can attest to that. I was half of the class in my high school that made the top half possible. All right? So, and getting through college, I just got through college. But I made a decision one day to get better, to work on me. So that's what I want to encourage everybody to do.
Well, you know, that's interesting because I'm writing a book on curiosity and how to develop it in other people. And it's kind of what you're talking about, this drive, this passion. How did you get to be so enthusiastic? I mean, is it from watching Zig Ziglars of the past? I mean, were you always like this?
I think that the key was that I changed my inputs. Okay? Input determines output. No, I was not always like this. But I had some change of inputs, and I've had some experiences that have blessed me. You know, my friend Charlie Tremendous Jones was one of the great motivators of the 1950s and 1960s. He was one of the first big motivational speakers before Zig Ziglar. Charlie Tremendous Jones blessed me so many ways because we became friends. But he had a fabulous quote that was life-changing for me. He said, in 5 years, you'll be the same person you are today except for two things. The people you meet who inspire you, and the books you read that empower you. And he said, you've got to make a point to always watch for blessings to come your way from people you'll meet, and life lessons. Don't let them go by. And then read more books. Make a commitment. I mean, I'll let you see real quick. This is my library, or part of it. These are some of my books. I've got books. These library shelves. There's some over there. There's some over here. There's some in the next room. In my bathrooms. We've got thousands and thousands of books that we've generated over the last 25 years since I learned this lesson from Charlie Tremendous Jones. I get books. I don't read on them. I haven't read every book here, but I might read one line out of a book that changes my thinking. Because when you read a book, what you've done is you've done a brain transplant. You took that person's brain, which they took a year or 2 years or maybe 5 years to write, right, and transplanted it in your brain in a day, a week, a month, whatever amount of time it takes you to read that. So, yeah. So one, the people you meet who inspire you, the books you read empower you. So what changed me was my inputs. And then the second thing that changed me was who I hung around with.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a lot of networking groups, and that, you know, a lot of times they say you want to be around people who've done more than you've done and to inspire you. Do you try to? I don't know how you're going to find anybody like that anymore, though. Is that pretty tough?
Listen, you know what? Let me tell you something. I find nuggets from everybody. I find them sometimes from children. I find them from old people. I find them from people who walk along the street. I met a guy one day who was homeless. But he would say something every time you would see him. He'd say, bright moments, bright moments. How you doing? Bright moments. I met a guy one day who was in the 7-Eleven. He was a cab driver. I'd see him in the 7-Eleven every morning getting coffee when I would get coffee. His name was Bobby. And you say, Bobby, how you doing? He said, peaches and cream, baby. Peaches and cream. You know, that inspired me. I look for inspiration. I live life I look through glasses that are not typical glasses. Mm-hmm. The average person just has glasses that help them to magnify something that they're looking at. Mine do that as well, but I see another thing too. Magnify the good. in life. I find good in places most people just ignore it. They don't see it. I see good in a Barbie. I see good in a homeless guy who says, I'm trying to do better because I've got more within me. I see good in a movie like The Lion King, where Mufasa, who was Simba's father, came to Simba after had been hanging out with the hedgehogs and all of these little, thinking he's a hedgehog. His father came to him in an apparition one day and said, Simba, you are more than what you have become. You are more than what you have become. Be what you were born to be. Most people see that and it goes right by them. I see that and say, wow. Because I'm looking through these glasses or these eyes. My lenses are always looking for inspiration, looking for things that will empower people, that will inspire people. That's why I encourage people to follow me. Mm-hmm. Follow me on Facebook Live. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on IG. I'm always sending out things every week, every day, every month on things that will inspire you, things that have caught my attention that would maybe have no influence, impact on other people. But I see greatness in everybody. So the answer to your question is I get it from everywhere.
Well, I was fortunate to, in my neighborhood, I happened to live 2 doors down from Muhammad Ali.
What?
Yeah. And
wow.
Of all the people in the world, he is probably one of the most amazing people. I mean, just to watch him. And some of your talks, when I was watching you, you have that same impact. You have that dynamic, over the top, but just empowering kind of a personality. Now, a lot of people don't know how to do that. I mean, that seems to come naturally to you, and it seemed to come naturally to him. And how do you help a speaker become more like you in that way? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes. We just had interesting enough, just last weekend, we had our emerging speakers seminar, and where we help young speakers to learn some of the techniques and some of the principles that will help them to come out and be more out in front, over the top. And so many people, were able to come to that, and some could not because of, schedule. So we then send them to a place called youcanspeaknow.com, where we also teach people online a training on how to get started in having a speaking business. So go to youcanspeaknow.com and check it out. But here's the thing that I think we teach speakers, and we teach people, whether they're speakers or entrepreneurs, is that when you make a decision that you're going to live your best life, then you make a decision to take life by the steering wheel. My friend Chris Gardner, who I had on my XM show, I got a podcast on iHeartMedia. He's on that podcast. Chris Gardner was the real guy from Pursuit of Happiness, the movie that Will Smith played him.
Oh, right.
Chris Gardner was a father. His wife left him with a little boy, a little baby, and he lost his sales job. He lost his money. He became homeless, had to live in a shelter. And during that time, he made a decision to try and become a stockbroker. It was a challenging, difficult, almost impossible effort, but he did it. And now he's gone on to multi-million-dollar success, a movie about him. He has his own brokerage firm. He has television shows. Just a phenomenal guy. He said something that inspired me. He said, wherever you are in your life, you drove there. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we got to understand that we all are at some place. Les Brown says, wherever you are, you made an appointment to be there. Wherever you are, you drove there.
Right.
The good thing is, you can drive out. You can drive out of this situation. You can drive out of being broke. You can drive out of losing your house. So you might have lost your house, but you didn't lose your mind. You didn't lose your ability. Vanessa Williams, when I interviewed for my Setback and Set Up for a Comeback book, I write about Vanessa Williams, who is now a movie star. Well, she was a Miss America contestant, a winner. Mm-hmm. And she lost her crown because someone brought out pictures she had taken when she was in college.
Right.
It was a poor choice. It was a poor choice. She shouldn't have done it, but she did. But this was something she did when she was years earlier. And she lost her Miss America crown. She said something, though, that was powerful. She said, they took away my crown. Because of something I did, I made a poor choice. But they could not take away my singing, my acting, my dancing. They couldn't take away my gifts. And those gifts are what I'm going to use to grow myself back to success. And she did.
Yeah, she definitely.
Broadway, movies, records. She's been phenomenally successful.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to all of you, you're going through a tough moment. You might be going through what I call the dreaded D's of life. The dreaded D's are downsizing, disaster, divorce, disease, diagnosis. I don't know what your D may be, but you can turn that D around because you make up in your mind that I might be here today, but I don't have to stay here. And it's like a lady who I met one day. She said, my husband left me after 20 years. After 20 years, I gave him all I had. And one day he walked in and said, I'm out. I don't know what to do. I said, here's what you do. First of all, you make up in your mind you are not going to curl up and die.
Right.
Second thing you do is you realize that you're still vibrant and you've got a lot of life left to live. And I say, live that life. Give it your all. And so she bought my books and she said, I don't know, but I'm going to buy. I'm going to see. I saw her a year later. She came up and hugged me. Oh, she almost didn't let me go. She said, my God, you don't know what this last year has been like. It's been phenomenal. I've traveled places I've never traveled. I've done things I've never done. I've got a new business. I've got new experiences. I've got new people in my life I would never have because I thought my life was over. I didn't curl up and die. Huh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And you share a lot of amazing stories in all your talks, and you do a really amazing job of just painting pictures in people's mind. And I think that was really one of the things that makes a speaker stand out is that ability. And do you find that you're always looking for stories in other people that when you meet them, I mean, or does it something
Absolutely.
you look around for?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking stories all the time. I'm looking for new things to inspire people all the time. I keep a notebook of a journal of the things I learned. I'll give you an example. Just last night, last Saturday, I told you we had our speakers, emerging speaker seminar. It's an all-day seminar. People come from all over the country to come to that. And they go, they heard about it. It's called Jolly Rich Speaking. And jollyrichtspeaking.com is where that site is. And so people go to the site, they get in information, they come from all over the country, and we spend a day with them, with me. There's a lot of my people who have come said they've gone to speaker seminars where it's promoted by a well-known speaker, but that speaker's not there.
Right.
They even have a video or some representative. And they said, you're actually here, and you stay with us. Now, that was all day, so we were tired after the whole day. But we had a friend of mine who I went to college with. Her grandson was having his first birthday. And she had said, please, if you can come by. It was in Alexandria, Virginia. I live in Washington. So I told my wife, I know you're tired, but we've got to go by there because I promised. And I'm a man of my word. So we drove out there, and we celebrated the grandson's little birthday. And then we took some pictures and so forth. And then we stopped and got a bite to eat. And then on our way home, our regular route to get home, we heard on the radio, there was an accident. So we couldn't go that way. So we went a different way. And I said, we're going to go right by the hotel where our friend who my wife met when she was working on Capitol Hill was in town. And we were going to go over there on Sunday, but we're right near here. let's just call her. I called her. She said, oh, yeah, I'll come down and meet you. So we went to the restaurant. We sat in the restaurant. And then my wife said, I'm so tired. After about 20 minutes, I've got to go to bed. I said, okay. So we hugged our friend. We left. My wife did not realize while she was sitting in the chair, she had dropped her keys in the chair. So we leave. That's 2 keys to 2 luxury cars. You know how much keys to luxury cars cost to replace? Anyway, so the next morning she says, I can't find my keys anywhere. I said, well, let's look all over the house. We looked all over the house. No keys to be found. I said, well, where could they have been? Well, all day Sunday we were busy. We had book events at a church. We had a church event. I had my uncle's 100th birthday, so we couldn't go back and look for the keys. Last night, we go back to the hotel. I said, let's go to the hotel. We go to the hotel. We go to the restaurant. I go in the restaurant. I say to the lady in the restaurant, did you find any keys on Saturday night? She said, well, I wasn't here, but let me go looking for lost and found. She goes to lost and found, and she comes back and said, no keys. Sorry. I said, okay, thank you. I walk out to the car, and then I said, you know what? I'm not giving up yet. I go back in. I go to the front desk this time. I say to the front desk manager, my wife lost her keys. I described them. I said, could you check for me? The lady in the restaurant said she couldn't find them. But would you do me a favor, check one more time? She said, let me go back to her. He said, let me call lost and found. He made lost count, found, couldn't get it. Lost another guy. He made 4 or 5 calls. He said, I'm not sure. He said, before we give up, I can see you're anxious about getting this. I said, yes, sir. And I'm believing they're here. He said, let me go one more time. He came back a couple minutes later and said, here are your keys. They were there.
Wow.
So that is the power of persistence.
Yeah.
You got to persist in whatever it is. It might seem like a small thing,
Mm-hmm.
but that taught me a lesson. Remember that you must consistently be persistent in your efforts, because good things happen to those who are persistent. So you sent me a couple emails, didn't you?
I'm sure. Yeah, probably more than 2.
Yeah, you were persistent, and you sent me these notes. I get a lot of requests for people to do interviews. I just don't have that much time.
Right.
The XM show, my speaking,
Right.
all the stuff that we got going on television, radio. I mean, it's a lot going on. But I was so impressed with your persistence.
Well, I
said, I'm going to be on her show.
And you got to sing something on my show. Do you have a...
Right. What you want me to sing?
You said you had to sing songs you didn't like. What kind of songs do you like?
Well, my favorite song is To Dream the Impossible Dream. To fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to go where the brave dare not go. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to fight without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this perilous quest, then my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scorn, will starve with his last stuff of courage to fight the unbeatable foe, to chase the unbeatable star, to dream the impossible dream. Ta-da!
Very nice. Very nice. Well, what a way to end the show, because this has been so wonderful. And I'm so glad we finally got a chance to connect. And I know everybody's going to, I mean, we talked a little bit about where to go for this and where to go for that, but can you one more time just share your websites and how people could find out more? Because I'm sure they'd love to have you come speak.
First of all, go to williejolly.com or WJ Speaks. Just WJSpeaks.com. And you can reach me. Now, I got a free gift for everybody who is watching, wherever they may be around the world, is some ebooks and some of my music and some of my XM interviews that changed my life. Go to williejolly.com/gift. williejolly.com/gift. gift, G-I-F-T, and that gift will be there for you. If you want to get my marriage book, you want to grow your marriage, go to jollymarriage.com. jollymarriage.com. Get the free chapter of the book at jollymarriage.com. If you have some teenagers or young people in your life you want to inspire, who are driving you crazy, who think they know more than you, go to wjyouthpower.com and see my PBS special for young people. Get that, watch it with them, it will change them, I promise you. So wjyouthpower.com. And then if you are a person of faith, like I am a person of faith, you can go hear my messages from the Crystal Cathedral, the Hour of Power, on jollygoodnews.org. jollygoodnews.org, Jolley, goodnews.org. Finally, follow me on Facebook at willie.jolley, willie.jolley at Facebook, on Instagram at The Real Willie Jolley, on Instagram, The Real Willie Jolley, and finally on Twitter at Willie Jolley. Stay connected to me. Our goal is to help you do more, be more, achieve more, and live a better life, and make this a life that when your time is up, even the Undertaker will be sad to see you go.
The incredible Dr. Willie Jolley. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me. You're awesome.